Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inglés, Session 8. This is a program for people who want to learn English. Soy Brian, tu entrenador personal de inglés. ¿Te gustaría ejercitar tu oído para inglés? Primero hoy, en Sesión 8, vamos a escuchar un paisaje sobre un festejo importante aquí en los Estados Unidos. Creo que es similar a los festejos quinceañeros se celebra en Latinoamérica. This celebration is called a bar mitzvah. A bar mitzvah. It is celebrated by Jewish people, los judíos. But first, let's practice some of the vocabulary and verbs you will hear in the selection. Cecilia, my assistant in Mexico, is going to help us. Hello, Cecilia. How are you? How was your weekend?
Hi there, Brian. My weekend was good. Thanks for asking.
Ok. Primero, en inglés, ¿cuál es la palabra para fiesta? ¿Sabes?
Party. Party.
Correcto. Party. ¿Y cómo se dice ofrecer una fiesta?
Throw a party. Throw a party.
Yes, to throw is igual de echar. Y también puedes decir hold a party. Hold a party. ¿Sabes el verbo to hold?
Yes, it is similar to tener, coger, sostener, or even abrazar.
Right. Ok, ahora, ¿sabes la expresión en inglés show off? ¿Qué significa show off?
¿Presumir?
Sí, exacto. Por ejemplo, I did it to show off in front of my friends. Lo hice para presumir ante mis amigos. Ok, ahora hay una palabra en inglés que significa normalmente o por lo general. Do you know this word?
Normally.
Okay, yes, normally means normalmente, but we also use another word to say por lo general, ¿sabes?
Ah, sí. Usually. Usually.
Yes, usually. Muy bien. Ok, ¿qué más? La palabra en inglés para escrito. ¿Cómo se dice escrito en inglés?
Written. Written.
Yes, written is the past participle of the verb to write. I have written, for example. Ok, en inglés hay una palabra que significa en voz alta. ¿Cómo se dice eso en inglés?
Aloud. Aloud.
Yes, aloud, with a D on the end. Es un adverbio. También hay un verbo, to allow, es totalmente inconexo. The past participle of to allow is allowed. Puede ser confuso, pero en contexto creo que no. Ok, en inglés, ¿cómo se dice a veces? ¿Cuál es la palabra en inglés para decir a veces?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Sí, sometimes I show off, or sometimes I throw a party. Ok, ahora en inglés, ¿cómo se dice hay? Por ejemplo, hay una fiesta mañana.
There is, or there is a plural form. There are.
Right. There is a party tomorrow, or there are two parties tomorrow. Okay, two more words, and then we will listen to the selection.
That's okay. I like practicing vocabulary.
Muy bien. ¿Qué estudiante tan buena eres?
Gracias.
Okay, here's an interesting word. Fancy. ¿Qué significa fancy en español?
No estoy segura. ¿Me puedes dar un ejemplo?
Sure. I like to show off by wearing fancy clothes.
Ah, ok. En este contexto, fancy significa elaborado o elegante.
Exacto. Ok. Por fin, ¿cómo se dice asistir? ¿Cuál es el verbo para decir asistir?
Attend. To attend.
Perfecto, Cecilia. To attend. Ahora me gustaría escuchar la selección y entonces quiero practicar un poco más algún vocabulario. Here is the selection of the day. Hay mucho vocabulario nuevo aquí, así que no te preocupes si no puedes entender todo. Tranquilízate, no hay presión. When a Jewish boy or a girl is 13 years old in the United States, many Jewish families throw a big party known as a bar mitzvah. The party is a celebration of the child's entrance into adulthood, as well as his membership in the Jewish faith. The party usually occurs in the afternoon or in the evening, but first, in the morning, there is a religious ceremony in the synagogue. The ceremony usually lasts at least 2 hours. During the ceremony, the child has to read a portion of the Torah, the ancient book of Judaism. The Torah is written in the Hebrew language, and many American children struggle when they have to read aloud from the book. Fortunately, the ceremony eventually ends and the party begins. Sometimes the party is held in the synagogue, but usually the party is held in a hotel or in a fancy building of some sort. Many friends of the bar mitzvah child attend, along with relatives and friends of the family. Sometimes there are more than 100 guests, all of them wearing fancy clothes. There is a big meal first, and then dancing. Usually there is a band that plays loud rock and roll music. And usually, at some point in the party, the men lift up the child high overhead while he or she is sitting in a chair. They carry the child around while the band plays a famous Jewish song called Hava Nagila. I am not Jewish, but I have attended approximately 10 bar mitzvah celebrations, and I have to confess I am becoming bored with these parties. Sure, I like to see family members and have a nice meal, but usually the Torah portion is extremely boring, and the music at the party is usually so loud that it is impossible to have a conversation. At a bar mitzvah, people say to the child, "Today you are a man," or "Today you are a woman." But a 13-year-old is not an adult. In fact, the celebration seems premature to me. It is just practice for another fancy celebration, getting married. Hey, Cecilia, did you have a quinceañera party when you turned 15?
No, I didn't.
No? Why not?
I'm just not into that kind of party.
Okay, you're not into that kind of party. Oyentes, I am into es igual de me gusta, pero es informal, jerga de los jóvenes. Okay, Cecilia, so how did you celebrate your 15th birthday instead?
Well, my dad organized a family reunion and he gave me some money. That was all.
That sounds nice. That sounds very nice. Ahora me gustaría practicar un poco más vocabulario desde la selección. Escuchamos el verbo lift. ¿Qué significa to lift?
Levantar.
Correcto. And we heard a similar word, to carry. What does it mean to carry something?
Llevar. Llevar algo.
Right. Okay, en inglés, ¿cómo se dice tener que? Por ejemplo, tengo que llevar algo.
Have to. Have to. I have to carry something.
Excellent. I have to do it. They have to do it. Y en el tiempo pasado, I had to do it. You had to do it. Okay, now 2 words that can be confusing. Bored and boring. ¿Sabes la diferencia, Cecilia, entre bored and boring?
Yes, they both mean aburrido.
Correct, but there's a difference. When do we use bored and when do we use boring?
No estoy totalmente segura.
Okay. Hace unas semanas hablamos sobre la diferencia entre interesting y interested. La diferencia entre boring y bored es similar.
Okay, so for example, the book is boring. I am bored when I read it.
Exactly. Or the man is boring. I get bored talking with him. Okay, are you bored yet?
Not at all. This is interesting.
It's not boring?
No, I am interested in it.
Okay. Gracias por tu ayuda, Cecilia. Have a great week.
You're welcome. The same for you. Bye.
Okay, everyone. Now it's time for That's English. Hoy me gustaría explicar un verbo muy importante y útil. To become. To become. Pero este verbo no existe exactamente en español. En inglés usamos to become para hablar de un cambio en el estado de una persona o una cosa. Por ejemplo, I am becoming tired. Significa estoy cansando. I am becoming tired. Pero to become también se usa en otras situaciones. Por ejemplo, hemos hablado de la palabra bored. En inglés podríamos decir I am becoming bored or I became bored en el pasado. Estas frases en inglés, I am becoming bored or I became bored, tienen un elemento de transformación. Por ejemplo, I am becoming hungry. ¿Cómo se dice eso en español? ¿Tengo hambre? No. ¿Tengo un poco de hambre? Become es similar a empezar. Por ejemplo, empezamos a inquietarnos. En inglés, we became worried. En español, a menudo se usa poner o hacer para realizar el efecto de become. Por ejemplo, en español se dice ponerse triste. Pero en inglés decimos to become sad. He became sad when his dog died. Otro ejemplo de to become. En español se dice enfadarse, pero en inglés decimos to become angry. He becomes angry when he is tired. Or I am becoming angry at my family. ¿Entiendes? En inglés usamos el verbo to get en una manera similar. Normalmente, to get significa recibir o obtener, pero en este contexto, get tiene un significado igual de become. Por ejemplo, I am getting hungry, or I am getting tired, or she gets bored easily. It's getting hot in here. Do you get cold easily? Well, I hope this isn't becoming too much for you to remember. In fact, I was just getting started. Are you getting confused by to become and to get? I hope not, because that's English. All right, now it's becoming time for English of the Rich and Famous. Today, I thought it would be interesting to listen to Angelina Jolie. You know Angelina Jolie, right? The actress, the one who lives with Brad Pitt and who has adopted many children. Well, you probably have heard that Angelina Jolie has won many awards for her humanitarian work. I'm going to play an excerpt from an interview she recently did. In the excerpt, Jolie talks about how she became interested in problems such as poverty, hunger, and disease. Jolie isn't giving a speech, so what you will hear is more like real conversation. It is a little difficult to understand, but try to relax and pick up as much as you can. Here is Angelina Jolie.
I'm in kind of a real process of education right now, I think I started 6 years ago traveling to different countries and wanting to learn about refugees and wanting to learn about what I wasn't being kind of taught in school or seeing on the news, and I wanted to become more aware. And then certainly there were things that through that I became more active in wanting to change. Now I'm trying to learn more about international law, and I've had some courses, and I'm trying to read a lot of books, and I'm trying to understand why in this day and age we don't have better solutions for conflict. Just in general, all the different kind of conflicts or dictators or aggressors that are hurting children or raping children or using them as child soldiers, why we don't have kind of very clear definitions of how to deal with this, who should deal with this, why we can't as an international community handle these things in a swift, efficient manner. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, Angelina Jolie. Did you notice that she used the verb to become twice in the excerpt? Here is the first one.
I wanted to become more aware.
She says, I wanted to become more aware. No sé exactamente cómo se dice eso en español, pero creo que es igual de quise ser más consciente. Okay, Here's another to become.
I became more active in wanting to change.
Jolie said, I became more active in wanting to change. Es en el tiempo pasado. Es difícil traducir I became more active. Tal vez empecé a ser más activo. No sé. En el fin, Jolie dice algo que es un idiomismo en inglés. Escucha otra vez.
So that's where I'm at.
Jolie said, that's where I'm at. La expresión that's where I'm at es bastante común en inglés. It's an informal way of saying, this is how I arrived at my current state of being. That's where I'm at. Puedes decir eso cuando tu amigo te ha dicho, ¿qué tal? Y tú has contestado con una respuesta muy larga. Odio a mi madre, estuve enfermo, tengo que escribir un reportaje. En resumen, eso es donde estoy. That's where I'm at. Well, we're at the end of Tu Inglés for today. Thank you for listening. Si tienes sugerencias o comentarios, envíame un mensaje, ¿ok? Gracias por todo. See you next week y suerte con tu inglés.